everyone, this is Tina Varelli for EpicuryCloud.com, and I demonstrate KitchenAid products on QVC. And today we're going to make my fluffy yeast rolls, but instead of baking them up in a pan, we're going to turn them into sandwich rolls. You can make little slider buns, you can make medium-sized slider buns, and today we're going to make hamburger-sized buns. So the first tip that I want to tell is that you should really weigh your flour. So this is 280 grams of flour, or 2 cups. And if you have the KitchenAid sifter scale attachment, that has a built-in digital scale, or you can pick up any kind of a digital scale, but it's really so much more accurate. And if you've ever made yeast rolls and they were really dense, it could be that there was too much flour in it when you weighed it by the cup. Okay, so into the mixer bowl, we're gonna add our all-purpose flour, 280 grams or 2 cups. We're gonna add our sugar and a little bit of salt. And then we're gonna add 1 packet of quick or rapid rise yeast, instant yeast it's also called. And then we're just gonna mix those up together. When you are going to add your liquid ingredients to your yeast rolls, you always want to check the temperature. You want your water, milk, and butter mixture to be warm but not too hot, or it could kill your yeast. So I look for something under 115 degrees. I check mine with a digital thermometer before I add it to my recipe. And I like to start off with my flat or my flex edge beater just until the mixture starts to come together. It just mixes a little bit more quickly. Once it's mixed together, you can stop, scrape off that beater, and then we're gonna pop on our dough hook. So pop on your dough hook, and this is going to knead for 3 to 5 minutes on speed 2. You always want to use speed 2 when you're using your dough hook with your KitchenAid stand mixer, and you rarely ever need to knead for longer than 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. So the dough has been kneading for about 1.5 minutes now, and I can see that it is still pretty sticky on the bottom. Sometimes, depending on the weather, the temperature, the humidity, today's a rainy day here, you may need to add just a tiny bit more flour. For this particular recipe, you do want the dough to come together into a ball and to clean the sides of the bowl. But you don't want to add too much flour, or you could end up with dense rolls. So just, a 1/2 tablespoon at a time, and let it do the kneading work there. Oop, that's been 3 minutes. You don't want to rush and add too much flour. So that was a 1/2 tablespoon. I'm gonna add the other 1/2, and I'm just gonna let it go and see how it does. Just try to be patient. You can stop periodically, stop and scrape the bowl in case there's any flour stuck on the bottom of the bowl, and just continue kneading. Okay, sometimes I like to stop and see how the dough feels. So it feels great. It's not super sticky. It's a tiny bit tacky, but it's not sticking to my fingers. It's sticking a tiny bit on the bottom of the bowl, but I really don't want to add any more flour because I don't want the rolls to be too dense. So I think we're just about ready. It's been kneading for about 4.5 minutes. And like I said, you don't really need for any more than 5. Okay, so let's stop, and we're gonna scrape this down off the dough hook here. Comes with a lid, so I can have the dough rise right in the bowl. So first I'm going to get it all scraped out because I need to put a little oil in the bottom of the bowl. Just gonna set that there for a minute. Sprinkle a little oil in the bowl, and then take your dough. It's slightly tacky, but I would not call it sticky. Oh, it feels really, really nice. It's all smooth and supple. So what you want to do is just kind of rub the top in the oil, then flip it over. That's going to help prevent any sticking. Pop your lid on, and we're just going to set it in a warm place to rise, usually about an hour depending on the temperature in the room. So I'll see you once the dough has risen and doubled in size. Take care. Okay, so our dough has been rising about an hour here, and that time can vary, so always give yourself a little extra time. I used that great lid and I rose the dough right in the bowl. So you just want to press down on the dough. They say punch it down, but you really don't need to get all aggressive on your dough there. So you just want to turn that out onto a lightly floured surface, silicone baking mat here. And we're going to divide the dough into 6 equal portions. We're making hamburger rolls out of these yeast rolls. So I'm going to just form it into a log shape that's even from edge to edge, and then I'm going to cut it in half and then cut each half into thirds to get about 6 even portions. You could even go so far as to weigh them to make sure they're totally even if you wanted to. And then you need to form your rolls. So you could just roll it into a ball. What I like to do is make a circle with your finger and your thumb, and then find a smooth part of the dough, press it up through that circle that you made, and it kind of stretches and gives a smooth outside to your entire roll. So then just kind of pinch at the bottom and form it all together so it's a nice cohesive roll there. You can mold it, make it a little bit more round, and then put that on your baking sheet. You want it either to be a grease baking sheet, or I'm using parchment paper. So again, push it up through your pointer and your thumb. I'm just pushing the dough up, and it makes a nice smooth top to the roll there. When you get to the bottom, just kind of pinch it off, flatten it out, make it nice and round. All right, I'm just gonna keep forming these, and then I'll show you what to do next. So we're making hamburger buns. You can also make these cute little slider buns or these medium-sized rolls, and I have directions for those in the recipe. If you wanted to make traditional yeast rolls, you would put all your dough portions inside a buttered round or square cake pan. So just get them all on your greased or parchment-lined baking sheet. So we're gonna cover the rolls here just with some greased plastic wrap, and then we're going to put them in a warm place to rise, probably about another hour. You want them to double inside and be really light and fluffy. Sometimes I take a picture of them at this point so that I can compare the picture to see that they truly have increased in size. Hi everybody, guess what? Real life happened, and somehow I deleted the video where I brush on the egg wash. So you're catching me a day later after my exercise class with another set of rolls. So here we go. When your rolls have risen the second time, I usually check to make sure they're, for hamburger buns, at least 3.5 inches in diameter. And then you just want to take 1 egg beaten with 2 teaspoons of water. And this is totally optional, but it really gives your rolls a nice, pretty brown, shiny top to them. And it allows you to sprinkle them with things like sesame seeds or poppy seeds, or even that everything bagel seasoning. So just gently brush these on because you don't want to deflate after all that work we went through to make them. Just kidding, they're not that hard. Okay, get them all nicely brushed, and then I'm gonna pop them in the oven, and then when they're done, we'll be back to the videos I filmed yesterday. So I'll look a little bit better, but you know what? Real life happens, so there you go. Okay, so you can skip the sesame seeds if you want, but I made some of these and they were really yummy with our burgers. So there are the rolls. In the oven they go, and I will see you little bit when I take them out. I just took the buns out of the oven. They look super gorgeous, golden brown. I'm loving the ones with the sesame seeds. So they need to cool completely before we're gonna take our bread knife and cut them in half horizontally. All right, I'll show you what the texture looks like when we get back. Hey, here we are. The rolls are all cooled off, and I just wanted to cut one in half and show you the texture inside. So, use a nice serrated knife. And you can see the inside is nice and soft. They are, I would say, a little sturdier than your grocery store really squishy buns, but we really love these, especially we had them with pulled pork, and I buttered and toasted these on the griddle, and they were so yummy with some pickles. So here are the sandwich rolls. I hope you enjoy them. Take care, everyone. I just wanted to show you a close-up of the rolls so you could see the texture. So nice and fluffy, and don't judge my cutting skills here. I'm in a hurry. So inside, nice and squishy too, but sturdy enough where it's not gonna fall apart under your juiciest burger or your pulled pork. So there you go. Hope you enjoy the buns. Take care.